Mother, tell your children not to walk my way.
Hello all, and welcome to another video by me, Truthslayer. This video is going to be a little different. As probably most of my subscribers that have been on here for a while and have followed me for a while know, that I did a video when I first got on here talking about what I didn't like about Ring of Honor. Well, this is kind of an update and redo of said video. So let's get started. These are the things that I think Ring of Honor needs to change, things I think they could do better, those types of things, just to get them out there. Hopefully some other Ring of Honor fans might talk about them as well, and maybe we can get some of them changed. Let's start with the things I said last time when I did this. The first thing I talked about was the message board, and that might seem a little this might seem ticky-tacky, but it was important to me because, as most of you know, Ring of Honor is very internet-based. Most of their fans, most of their buzz, most of the things talked about is internet-based. So their message board on their website is kind of important. And my biggest problem is that when I talked the first time was that it had not been open to subscriptions for some time. They randomly will open it up for people to sign up for the boards. However, they need to let it be known a little bit better that they're up and going, that you can sign up for the boards. There's always a bunch of spam when they do, but hey, it's just kind of what happens. However, I do think it's a good place. I think it's a good place for Ring of Honor officials to kind of see what the fans like and what they don't like and that type of thing. So I do feel it's important, and I just wish that they would do a better job of explaining to people how they can sign up for it. The other thing I talked about was talent, because I didn't feel like they were bringing in as much of the talent, particularly on the indie scene, that were out there that they could. Since I made that video, they went out and they brought in Mike Quackenbush for, not full-time, but for most of the time, and I'm happy with that. They also brought in El Generico and Kevin Steen, and a few other people as well. And so that's good, though I still feel like they could do a better job of bringing in some talent to round out the roster a little bit. Not that I don't think a lot of the guys on the Ring of Honor roster are great and wonderful, but I do feel that for Ring of Honor to really expand, they're going to have somewhat of a super indie roster, and there's still some guys out there I think that they could use. I'm gonna name one that a lot of Ring of Honor fans might be like, huh? However, hear me out. One of those would be Necro Butcher. A lot of people will probably be like, he doesn't fit the Ring of Honor profile, and I agree with that, except the fact that they do have him working FIP events, Full Impact Pro, which is kind of their sister promotion, kind of like B-League promotion down in Florida, and he's doing very well there. So I would suggest bring him in just for something different, just because a lot of people know him just for name recognition only. And there are a few other guys out there that I think they could bring in, particularly the top A-list guys on the indies, because a lot of times when I go to the message board, they're always talking about people they need to bring in, and often it's guys that, while they're good, I just don't feel like they're big enough names to be in Ring of Honor yet. And there's also a guy that I would talk about that I think definitely they should bring in now, would be Jerry Lynn. Since apparently he's been let go from TNA, I think he'd be an excellent fit. And a lot of people are like, yeah, he's a little too old. He is, but he is exactly what Ring of Honor should be. And I would also say that, if they could pull it off, a RVD, Jerry Lynn, maybe just a little series of matches where they could promote, hey, this is the only organization where we're going to let these two guys show what they can do, I think would be big. I think would definitely get Ring of Honor's name out there a little bit more, and I think would be very good, particularly if they were able to do that on at least one of the pay-per-views. The other thing that I talked about was the video wire, and pretty much their internet-based media. While I like it and I think it's good, my problem is that it's only maybe about once a month, and I think it needs to be about once a week, at the very minimum once a week. If you watch, one of the things that I will always give credit to TNA is the TNA Today. I think that's one of the best things they do. I think it's very well done. I think it serves its purpose excellent, and I definitely think that if ROH gets to the point where they could put on 4 or 5 video wires a week and include at least just one match in those, 4 to 5 shows, I think it would do really well, and I think it would get even more buzz about ROH, because I've always noticed that when they put on a lot of the video wires particularly close together and they're running them well, that there does seem to be more buzz about Ring of Honor. So, and I think that's probably their best way of getting their news out there. Also, I think it would be better for them when they do their news wires if they did it on the video wire, because I think, again, it would get more attention and would make them look a little bit more professional. Well, not less indie-ish, I guess is what I should say. And definitely just use the TNA, Today model, just to a lesser scale. I mean, you don't have to go to the full production values that they do. But I said this before, when it comes to these, like the YouTube videos and the videos, the internet videos, there's guys on YouTube, there's guys all the time that I think definitely do a great job of doing the exact same things. And the fact that ROH doesn't seem to be able to do that just kind of really puzzles me, because there's guys on here that put videos together like that are well done, professional, and look amazing. So there you go. House shows, I still think they need to do more house shows. I think it needs to be closer, the number needs to be closer to 80 or 90 shows. They're pretty close to that, so that's, I would also say next year, Canada, they need to go to Canada. They're going to, they've been to Japan, they've been to the UK, they are going to the West Coast this fall. Definitely Canada next year, without question in my mind. They also need to go west of the Mississippi, particularly St. Louis. Why they haven't been to St. Louis yet, I have no idea. And south of the Mason-Dixon line, they definitely need to do that as well. I would also say that I feel that the WrestleMania weekend shows this next year, the ones that will be taking place in Orlando, need to be loaded, huge, maybe the biggest shows Ring of Honor has ever put on. They're going to have the possibility of having their biggest crowds. I really believe that. I think there's going to be a lot of people for this WrestleMania, and I think there's going to be a lot of people from around the world that probably have heard of Ring of Honor and want to check it out, in particular if they can bring in some, talent from around the world and stick them on, those WrestleMania shows, so people will come and check it out. I think it'd be a very big thing for Ring of Honor. Now to the things I haven't talked about before. Let's start with production values. I've never talked about production values, but for the fact that they are on pay-per-view now, I think production values are a bit more important. And the biggest thing with that, the video, I've never been disappointed with the video with Ring of Honor. The audio, though, I've always had problems with. I definitely think they need better audio. They definitely need better sound systems. That is something that definitely needs to be changed. I've often, you listen to, sometimes I've got to listen to promos twice to really get them, particularly when they're in the ring. So I would definitely say that is the biggest thing production-wise. Faster turnaround times. Also, when it comes to turning out the DVDs and the videos and whatnot, I definitely think that. A DVD deal, without question. The fact that both FIP and Shimmer seemingly have a DVD deal of some sort, and they do not, really kind of annoys me. I definitely think it's time for them to get a DVD deal. I think that will expand the fan base even more if people can just go to Best Buy or somewhere and pick up the DVD instead of having to order it off the internet. And I would definitely say, maybe do a best of DVD, maybe, just start releasing the pay-per-views on DVD. The pay-per-views, if they are a success, I definitely think that next year there needs to expand to both 3 hours, and that 2 of those pay-per-views definitely need to be live. So I don't think that's asking for too much. And finally, the biggest criticism that everyone has with Ring of Honor television. I've waited patiently. I know a lot of people have waited patiently, but they have gotten to the point now where the fans are basically saying, hey, you need to be on television. You need to be on television. We've done as much as we can promoting it. It's time for you guys to be on television. And I agree. Sometime in the next year, they got to get on television. They have to get on television. And the fact that the NWA was able to get a deal, even a small one, shows that Ring of Honor can get a deal too. Though I do agree with Ring of Honor's point of that they do need to keep what they want their product to be and should not get a television deal that's going to make them change it. But I think that they can get a deal which they won't have to change their product and still be able to sell and be successful. And that's the ultimate thing. If they're going to be on television, they're not going to be successful, or they feel like, it's not going to benefit them, then of course you know, but they need to let us know that. I mean, that's the other thing. They need to, you know, if we're out there, you know, talking about Ring of Honor and trying to get people to watch Ring of Honor, we need to be able to say that as well. That's all for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. If not, oh well. Talk to you later.